We're here at my farm, Noni Land, and on this DVD, we're going to find out how to use some of the most incredible foods, superfoods, super herbs, Chinese tonic herbs, chocolate and chocolate products that have ever been put out there into the world. We're going to find out how to synergize these elements together to create an approach that is unmatched and unsurpassed. It's going to help you to develop that inner beauty, that inner glow that is your birthright, and that actually we all possess access to. We just need to be able to switch on those genes that are going to make that possible. We're going to discover that your ability to achieve beauty through superior nutrition is not only possible, but it can happen quickly. And the reason is because we've actually got the technologies now. We have the liquefaction blender technologies that let your body access these incredible nutrients. Whether those nutrients are coming from aloe vera or noni or acai, or if they're coming from other great superfoods like chocolate or maca, you're going to be able to tap into the majesty of the greatest foods that have ever been on the planet. Enjoy. Welcome to the Skin Glow Sulfur Salad. And this is actually quite a famous recipe for my book, Eating for Beauty, now over 10 years old. So the book, Eating for Beauty, has actually always been rewritten by me. I've continued to rewrite it over the years, but originally came out over 10 years ago. And this was probably the most famous recipe that came out of that book. So what we have here is we have a basic salad. We've got our greens. We've got our dinosaur Jacinto kale. We've got avocado. We've got arugula. We've got celery hearts in here. There's also a possibility we could have put watercress in here. We weren't able to get watercress, but that's normally in the recipe. These are basically high sulfur, high silica foods, and they're delicious, and they're garden foods, and they favor beauty. One thing I've noted about arugula over the years, and this is super interesting to me, it's almost exclusively eaten by women. So it has a very feminine energy to it. It's definitely a beauty food. It's definitely got that sharp, sulfury bite in it, and that allows you to detect those sulfury oils that favor beauty, that nourish your skin, your hair, your nails, and that really give you that juice in your connective tissue, and in particular in your joints. Now, what we're going to do in this particular segment is we're actually going to make the dressing for the Skin Glow Sulfur Salad. And then we're going to garnish it in a really unique way, in a special way, and I think it's going to be fun. So we're going to start over here, and we've got our NutriBullet, and we're going to put in a few things that are going to go into the bottom and underneath our dressing. We're going to put the tomato in. I'll just put 3 or 4 of these guys in there. And then we're going to put some cucumber in there. So this is something that you would eat in a salad, but also you can make a dressing out of it, and it really works beautifully. We're going to move over here. We're going to have the rosemary. Rosemary's got really amazing flavonoids in it, and it's a really powerful antioxidant. In fact, rosemary oil is being used in quite a few products now as a preservative. So we've gotten away from the synthetic stuff. We've gone to rosemary. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there. You've got to be careful because rosemary is pretty strong in flavor, and it can throw it if you use just a little bit too much. Next over here, we've got some thyme. So we're going to have a wild thyme with thyme. This is some dried thyme. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. This is dried thyme. And the rosemary is actually fresh because it's just from the garden. So I'm just going to put a few pinches of thyme in there. Nice. And then as we move down, we got we've got one little clove of garlic here, and I like to do this with my dressings. I learned this from a chef to actually get a clove of garlic into your dressings. It gives a thickness, a body. It also gets those sulfury oils in there. And garlic at the core, at the very center of that garlic, right in the middle of that thing, where the little growth point is, where the little green part is, there's actually a little bit of EPA, which is eicosapentaenoic acid. That's actually a long-chain omega-3 fatty acid that is neurologically active. It's a very rare thing to find in a land plant. It's almost exclusively a marine oil. You may have heard of it in marine phytoplankton. You may have heard of it in fish oil. Well, it's in there. We can get it if we do it in that way. The next thing we've got right here, this is a little bit, we've opened up some olives. Right there's our olive jar right there. And there's a little bit of water in there that the olives are preserved in. We just took a little bit of that olive water It's just got a little bit of that vinegar, a little bit of olive flavor. We're going to pop that in there. And in fact, we're going to throw a few olives in there. So I'm just going to poke into here, see what we got. Yeah, that's enough. And we'll just get a few olives in there to just flesh out that dressing, really give it an amazing flavor. The thing about salads is you got to make your own dressings. A lot of the dressings that are out there, they use cottonseed oil, they use polyunsaturated oils, they use all different kinds of rancid oils and partially hydrogenated oils. This is something that sneaks in, and you got to be very careful. I mean, when you go to a health food store, a lot of times when you're getting a dressing that's out there, it's a rancid oil that they're using. It's rapeseed or canola, and it's rancid. So we want to always take that control back. This is a way we can do it. Make your own dressings at home. Do it the raw way and the natural way, and you will feel the beautifying results. We've got some Arctic salt right here. I'm going to throw a few pinches of that in there. Really a key part of overall digestion, especially when we're digesting fiber. We want to make sure we nourish our intestines, and salts do that. Salts nourish our intestines. And you've heard about preparing kale where you massage the kale with salt. Well, that's to help break down those fibers, and that's what happens as it massages right through your digestive tract. The salt helps you break down those fibers. So I'm going to put a couple pinches of this wonderful salt in there. Just a little tiny bit more. I just really like this salt so much. Okay, over here I've got some olive oil, and I'm going to pop some of that in there in order to get a thickness and a consistency here, and also to bring this more into that direction that we went with the olive and the olive juice or the olive water. So I'm just going to use like a good tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. I'm just such an olive oil fan. Anytime you have good olive oil, like the Rallis olive oil, this olive oil right here, you got to open your body up to it. It's one of the great longevity foods there is, and I try to sneak this in every way I can. So we get it in here. Now I'm going to top it up here with a little bit of spring water, just so we can blend it and get a little thickness of consistency there. I could add a little avocado if I wanted to. This is actually an avocado from my tree. You can see these are just dropping like bombs right over there. We have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes they can break a windshield. It does happen because they're dropping from up high. But these beautiful avocados can go in there and make a real nice creamy consistency. Olive and avocado are actually very distantly related. A lot of people are not aware of that. They're both in that oleander family. They're distant relatives of each other, and they're both fatty fruits. So they're really interesting. I think they're a really key food for the future, each one of them, because they can give you a lot of calories, but you don't have to eat a chicken. You don't have to kill a cow, or you didn't have to kill a fish. And it's just a really way of walking gently and softly on the earth. So it's ethically considered. Okay, now we've got all the pieces that we need in here. Let's go ahead and put the extractor blades on. Pop it onto our NutriBullet and see what happens. Okay, this is going to be incredible. So we've got it's pretty thin, and we could have gone a little bit thinner by just doing, or a little bit more creamy, by a little bit less water. But this is going to make a really wonderful salad dressing. You can see it's almost perfect. Looks like Thousand Island dressing. Has a little bit different of an effect. And then, of course, we can put in our Chlorella tablets, and this is where we get that super nutrition. I like to spike my salads with super nutrition. I like to spike my food with that super nutrition. So we've got the Chlorella. The Chlorella has the complete protein. It has the minerals. It has the magnesium. It's basically so high in chlorophyll that it can actually detoxify your digestive tract, detoxify your body, detoxify your brain and nervous system of heavy metals. So I like to kind of add it in whenever possible. And again, it gives us, there goes one off this side. It gives us that extra little protein hit, which stabilizes our blood sugar and just kind of makes it easier to go longer without food. And that's always a nice thing. Just less food is better. Less is more. The less you eat, the longer you live, so the more you get to eat. That is the Skin Glow Sulfur Salad. Enjoy this at home.